There we go. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Renew Your Spirit. I am your host, Lynn Gaffin. And today we have with us again, by popular choice by me because I wanted her back, Eugenia da Silva. And last time she was on, we talked about Spiritism and the difference between Spiritism and spiritualism. I'm not sure that everybody got that, so I thought we could go over it again today. And you had mentioned something last time, just at the end, and I thought, oh my God, I got to find out about that. You said Spiritism saved your life.
Yes, it did. Oh, hello, everyone, first. Yes. And I am also happy to be back here, Lynn. So
thank
you didn't
for being
force
here.
me.
Oh, this is wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So Spiritism came to my life very early into my life, actually. I was a very young girl and I had contact with, and learning from the other side very early in my life. And I'm so glad that that happened. And happened in many different ways. And I learned in different ways as well. And but I think when I say it saved my life, it's really like it made me think through like who I am, to look inside, and then it taught me to take responsibility for the things that I was doing it, and it was causing problems to my life. And because we ego can get into the way, and then if we are not taught to look inside and know yourself better, you tend to blame other people, and you spend your whole life doing that, and that's not how it is, and that doesn't really help, because you get stuck in that and then you don't change your life. So with the spiritism, I was able to share like the little thing I had like the desire to help, with the desire to assist people and give them some kind of support. Yeah, I always wanted to give people emotional support. And then we have the community service in the Spirit Center that I used to go in Brazil. And then I was able to have that now in my life. And I used to go like once a week to do community service. And then sometimes, depend on the time, like in the holidays, you start to go more often. So I had contact with people that they were really in need more than I was. And then I thought I was in need, and then that was like, it just window just opened to my life. And I said, well, hold on, like I must have some need, but it's not as much as other people. So I was able to literally put my shoes into other people's, no, my feet in other people's shoes, and feel it, and feel how it is to help others. And then how that feeling of being a support to others makes me feel good too, and it gave me strength to continue my life, and then and fix things that wasn't going on like in the right direction. Yeah, so
What kind of you kind of found out who you were and your purpose.
yes, and it didn't come like I didn't become aware of this like so fast. It took
Right.
years, but because I was doing so frequently, I was there, and then I was getting support from the spiritual center, and I was also giving back what I was getting it. So this exchange, this internship now of knowledge and then support, it helped me to become more mature and then understand better what life means now. And I was like going a little bit more deep into my life, my private life, is like it helped really me to understand my relationship with my family. Because when we study spiritualism or spiritism, we start to think about others in a different way and respect their way to be. Now, like you might not agree with the way they live, might not agree with the decisions they make, and you might feel like you don't fit in your family.
Right. Yes.
But you
Yes.
learned that there is a reason that you are there, and then but you also learn what can you do. No, because there is a limit, you're not going to save anybody, but what is your responsibility, like emotionally and spiritually, in that house? No. And I learned that through Spiritism, and that helped me to create a better relationship with my brothers. I have 5 older brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. And my dad and my grandfather, who was living in my house. It's just my mom and I as a female figure. So can you imagine it? No, like it wasn't really fun. We were told, yeah, we were told to do a lot of things, and I did not like that. So I didn't allow that to happen to me. And I was mad because that was happened to my mom. So I created a lot of conflict because that. There was a lot of conflict, but I learned it. So studying more about spirits, learning that we are here is like a journey. We came from somewhere else, a place where we were all together there, and then we all had a purpose, and then we came to this life with a purpose that we don't know, but we can figure it out together. But families, they get together, they know they are in the same family because we as a spirit, as a soul, we chose that before we come. So, and that understanding really like sat on my heart, and I said, like, let me look to this family from a different perspective, and then it really helped me. Now, so today I'm still feeling like, we are all different, but I have a good relationship with everyone. And I'm so glad that I'm able to understand that. Now,
Now, are you able to pass this feeling, this information on to others that you work with?
yes, I am. Do you mean like specific for my family or just people in general?
And people in general. I mean,
I do.
like with your husband or with the people that you work with, your clients or whatever.
I do, yes. I teach them, especially I work with a younger population, like was adolescent, and now they are like children. But I tell them in their own language, like, you need to take responsibility, because now this is the consequences of something that you are doing it. You got to look to your parents in this way, because now they have like an emotional connection. So I choose the words for them to understand. I don't say spirits, of course. You're not allowed to
Right.
say that.
Yeah. You can just go so far. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do. And then when I was working with the teenagers, they really understood, because they love, uh, they're curious about spiritism, like spirit world. They're curious. And then we found a way to talk to each other and related the message. And they were just like, oh, that's what I think. No, and then they would share, I can't believe you know that. Like, they would tell me those things. No? And I had cases that some teenagers, they saw me drinking a tea, and they said they wanted to try because they wanted to change, like they were not connected with the things that they were having at the moment, and they were looking for something. And then I had a few cases that they really started drinking like teas that they liked it because they felt better. No, like just
Now, these are herbal teas that you make?
yes, I do have my own ones, but they would buy things. They would go to the store and buy their own, but just to have the space to talk, no, and then you share with them like what it feels to connect to nature, what it feels to heal yourself with your own strength, what it feels to look to your mom in a different perspective, like she's thinking, like your dad is thinking, like we exchange place. and have compassion. No, like I know that person made a mistake saying this thing to you, and you became so upset. But let's look to that person with compassion, no, with love. What can you change the way you are judging it? No, some people they stop judging. They just start to understanding. No,
Are
and
you learned all this through your belief system, your spiritism?
Yes, yes, that was my first introduction to
Mhm.
this kind of awareness. And then I went to college and I did psychology for 5 years, and I specialize in mental health. No, that's what I do now. But it
Mhm,
all
mhm.
became with this, no, like how to really provide to others and the ones that are close to me and the ones that I work with that peace of mind that judgment doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't solve anything.
Mhm.
But you can look to another person with more understanding, with like you are that person. Like how would you react if you were that person? No. And then I really felt that way when I was practicing in my community center, no, a spiritual center in Brazil. I only can teach that because I really had the experience and I
Right,
felt it.
right.
And then I know what it is. And I know what it is when you have a family and you don't feel connected and you don't feel loved. But no, but there is a way that you can understand and receive and accept the love that they can give to you, because that's how they are. And then you don't change people.
Mhm.
You
Right, yeah.
accept it. You accepted them, and you,
That's a hard lesson to learn.
yes, it takes a while. It's
Mhm.
not, it's a process. No, it is a process. And in all the readings that I still do, but I started reading, way back in Brazil about these spiritual messages that was, written by like a medium. And then I became so curious about, the other world, and I said, but it looks like this world, like the
Yeah,
things that they're saying,
yeah.
how they are organized. No, the message that they give it to us is always like kind, is always like in a inspired way. It's never
Mhm.
like pointing a finger, no. And it's also say, uh, it's like what are you doing, that it is making a difference in your life, someone else's life, and then what is it you're doing that it's causing it the problem. No.
Mhm.
And I really remember when I was going to the spirit center, there was like a person who was the coordinator there, and he always said like, you come here, but you have the chance to become a better person. Not that you were bad, but to
Right, yeah.
improve yourself spiritually and morally. Or you can just come here and stay where you are. No, but it's our choice.
Yeah.
And then first I did not like that. Like, what the hell are you
No, I
doing?
know.
What I was saying? And I was young, and then all I wanted was get messages and then like fix my life. No, I was in that stage. Even like I think I was like about 7 when I was introduced to Spiritism.
Really?
Yeah, and but I was born in this world, in the spiritual world, because remember I told you that my mom used to take me to a person who blessed me
Yeah,
when I was sick,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
a shaman. That's how you
Shaman,
say
shaman.
shaman. And I love it. Like I loved going to her house. Now I would run into her garden. It was very simple. Like there was no grass, no cement. It was just like dirt. But I just love going there, and I know the plant that she used to bless me. So since I was like very little, I was introduced to this. And but when I became like in my early 20s. So I started to read more. And then I became fascinated for the spiritual world. And then that's how I know a lot of the things, because I into book studies. I took classes now that the Spirit Center, they have like the whole, um, they have like classes for beginners, no,
Oh,
medium
okay.
and advanced. And then you advanced spiritism knowledge. That's what I'm trying to say. And then the last year is the year that you practice mediumship.
Oh,
So you learn how to develop it. But the first 3 years, you really are learning about like what is God,
okay.
what
The
is the
basics. Yeah.
spirit, and how what is the universe, the messages, the natural laws, the the phenomena that happened, and then and everything, like I said the last time, is it's connected to science. Everything there
Yeah.
is an explanation.
Yeah.
It's not just like a miracle that
Right.
happened. No, there's not just faith belief. It's like a concrete
Right.
answer belief. And I still study until this day. Now I feel like every time I study more, I have the need to read more. And so yeah, that's what I do. I'm still doing.
That's fantastic. Now, how exactly, if you can tell me, what the difference between spiritism and spiritualism?
Okay, that's a very good question, because they're very, very close.
Mhm.
Um, like going to our church here and having the experience to go to a spirit center in Brazil, I would say that the biggest difference that I noticed in the beginning was that we don't talk about Jesus knowledges, Jesus messages,
Okay.
no, and then reincarnation.
Mhm. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
that's two things that I really feel like we don't discuss, even though we know now
Right.
we have our own perception, our own knowledge, but we don't really do that in church. But we do, like spiritism is based on Jesus' teachings to us. Now, what the message that he left to us. So
Do
we
they
we,
believe that he was the son of God?
we are all a son of God.
I know, but I mean, you know, do they believe that he came here to save us and that he died to save us and all that? Do they believe that?
It's not like in that way, like it is or it
Okay.
is not. It's not black and white.
Okay.
The understanding that I have, I was gonna say that I am a spiritist, and there are other spiritists in Brazil. They have different,
Yeah.
mentality.
Right. And that's the same thing with spiritualism too. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, and then how I learned it. No, the Spirit Center. I got to the classes from. Like we learned that Jesus, he was an amazing soul that came to earth.
Okay.
And then very enlightened
Yeah.
spirit. They came to here to leave us a message, and then it was the message that we needed at that time. No, nobody else was talking about love before Jesus. Nobody else like
Right.
love to share with others. No, and then it's not just the love between partners or like family. Is the love with
Right.
everyone? Is the
Right.
unconditional love? No, and then how you teach this to somebody. So I have a book here that I read. Actually, are two books, the collection, and it says it's called the Therapeutic Techniques of Jesus.
Ooh.
And then I read it, and then I use it in my daily, the work day. I use it
Ooh.
with my clients, and it works. And then I don't talk about Jesus. I
Yeah.
talk about love, and
Right.
that's what it is. So, uh, so Jesus came in, and he really, like, I think he was only sharing with others like for 3 or 4 years of his
Mhm.
life. It wasn't
Mhm.
that long.
Right.
But can you imagine, Lillian, like, let's be rational now. 4 years of someone's life, and he left this message to the whole planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it must be a soul that had a mission here on earth, and then his mission touched people in a way that was never touched before. No, so we believe in the meaning of the message of Jesus, that he came to really help, us to think in a different way. And it's really like in the way that we support each other, that we motivate each other, that we question things, why I have to do this. But if I decided to do this way, is it going to be good just for me? Or it's going to be good for all people that are around me? No. And and I didn't learn Jesus from the Bible. Like, I don't understand the Bible. I feel so bad. I really wanted, because I think it's a great book, but it's written in a way that I don't understand.
Not
The
many people do.
the language that they use, that Jesus spoke in that time, that I learned from other books, that it's like in a poetic language. I don't understand poems from that. It was written these days. So I'm very limited in this poetic world.
Yeah.
And I need help to really understand what he was trying to say. And I know the message is good and it is truth, and we can use right now. We could use that time we can be using right now. But we really need to understand what is saying it. We can't just guess, like I can't just read the Bible and repeat words that I don't even know the meaning of.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So I don't do that. So I rather, I understand his messages now. And then, like I told you, there is a Brazilian speaker that I really like to listen to, and then he understands Jesus language, that he does researches, and then he translated the New Testament to Portuguese now. So he knows what he's saying. So I like to listen to him, and I learn a lot. And when you learn about what Jesus really was doing that time, it was so beautiful. It's really very similar what you do now, what the coordinator in Brazil does at the Spirit Center there. And it's really very similar to the people that are here on earth now, famous or not, they are sharing the goodness with others. And then I think for me, I really want to know, let's say that I'm a very like a follower of Jesus, right? I think if he will come back to me and say, Eugenia, I like you because you really practice the love. It's not because you follow my name, you follow my church. It's really what you do now. So even though the people, they don't use his name, but they do in real life what he taught us, I think that's all he wanted. Right? And then when you hear about Buddha, about Krishna, right? And then is similar messages. They don't want you to use their name to be recognized. They really wanted you to change your life for the good with the knowledge that they're passing on.
Right. Yep. Because that's all they were here for in the first place. I mean, Jesus wasn't a Christian, and Buddha wasn't a Buddhist. And, and they were just people that came here with a message. And if people would follow that message, things might be a little bit different than they are now.
Yes. And what really impresses me is that during the time that Jesus came, even before that, things were very limited in terms of resources. But we know per history, this is not about religion, per history, people had contact with spiritual world like 100 years
Oh,
before Jesus,
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
maybe thousands of years before
Yeah,
Jesus.
right.
No, I think even before Moses, because
I
when
think
Moses,
from the very beginning, probably. Yeah.
and then I see that as everyone, every soul who was born here on this earth,
Mhm.
they have that inside them. It's not taught to us. We know there is something bigger and something good that's no, that it's controlling us now, everything that is around us. And what happened, like when we hear messages like this great, souls that they came to earth, it guides us, to the right direction, because we can't get lost. We can't get
Mhm.
lost. There are a lot of options. There are not good options here, and then you can go very easy into that way. But you can choose to follow this guy, and then you go and do that. But we can't deny the
Right.
spiritual world
Right.
anymore.
Oh, no,
Can't.
no, no, no. No. I think we're hiding our head under a pillow if we start trying to deny it. Now, what, tell me, I know how I feel about reincarnation. How does Spiritism, what do you feel about it? What did you learn about reincarnation that we don't know? Because I think most of us believe it.
Yes, and I think you guys know more than you think you know.
Oh, I know, I know.
Yes. So, well, reincarnation is the word itself. It says it now, like
Mhm.
reincarnated. So,
Incarnation, yeah.
and it is a word that we use to really, like to make sense in our language that we use here on Earth, because we created as a society, we need to have a universal language, right? We need to have that, otherwise we will not communicate.
Right.
So I always think of this way: it is a word that we created. No, Kardec, I don't know, wasn't Allan Kardec, was it? Allan Kardec didn't invent the word reincarnation. It existed before.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know who was using it before Spiritism. Do you know what you understand? So reincarnation really means like you are back to your incarnation.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
again,
Mhm.
right? So it's a word that represents like being born on earth. So
Yep.
incarnate is being born here. So
Yep.
reincarnate is to come back,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep.
But really, like to really understand the whole concept of reincarnation, we need to have a class because it's beautiful, it's interesting, and then when you start to learn it, you don't want to stop because it's really like it makes you curious about it. And
That's an idea.
so what, like, we don't come back on the same body.
No, no, no,
that's
no,
that's
no.
out of question,
No,
right?
no,
We
no.
know that we as a spirit, we are individual. But when we come back to earth, we have our identities. So I don't know how many times I have been here. So I probably had different identities.
Oh, yeah.
But right
Oh,
now I
yeah.
am Eugenia.
Yeah,
And I
that's
love
right.
being Eugenia.
That's good. We like it too.
Good. So the fact that like uh, while we're thinking about reincarnation, it because we felt this thought, some facts in our lives will not make sense, right? Very like a simple and public event that was shown, not event, but cases that were showing to us is like children that we see on YouTube or in the news on the TV, that they so in such a young age they can play piano,
Mm-hmm.
they can play beautiful, no,
Mm-hmm.
and in some specific instruments, and then like people that they're trained for years, they're not that level yet,
Yeah.
and then they paint, or they can paint very beautifully, so they come with this, skills that's
Mm-hmm.
so way advanced for that age.
Right.
So how do you explain that if you don't believe that that spirit has been
Right.
here already, right? There are other cases that actually, I think it was a doctor from Harvard who did it, the experiments, not the experiments and research, that children that they have memory of them in other lives, and the
Yeah.
parents were freaking out.
Yep.
Like, what did I have? What is happening? Is it like, you
Mhm.
know, having mental health, you know, like
Right.
some kind of mental disabilities, you know? And then actually it was proved that the knowledge that that children had about that person who already passed away was so accurate,
Right.
you
How could
know,
they have known?
and nobody from their family told them.
Right.
No, I think there was a case that was this boy that he knew he was a pilot in a
Yes. I was
war.
thinking of the same one. I think I read the same one.
Yeah, like I can't remember, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to say that because it came from America, it came from here, right? But we have other cases in Brazil too.
Sure.
But I'm trying to get examples that it's more connected to us here.
Hmm.
And I can't remember the boy's name, but I think you can find him on YouTube. So he will give you details
Yeah.
about it, the airplane, no, like the position he had it. I think he named a few people that worked with him, like was a co-pilot.
Yep.
So you can't deny that a
Yeah.
child can can have that knowledge,
Right. Right.
you
There's no
know.
way he could have known. Yeah. No, I think they're proving it more and more that there is reincarnation. I mean, people are beginning to believe it, whether, they say it's proven or not. But I mean,
Yes.
just the fact that I always think about the Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm.
He, you know, when he passes, they go looking for his reincarnation, the child that is reincarnated, and
Yes.
and it, some of their experiences have been amazing.
Yeah. And how old is that tradition, that religion? Like, how old is
No,
that? Like, they have been
yeah,
doing that for like centuries and
yes,
centuries. No, no. Um, it's just like it's not new. No, people believed in the return of the soul to earth even before Christianism. No, it's just it wasn't like really taught to people, or it
mhm,
wasn't clear, and it was done in a different way because people lived and think and thought actually in a different way at that time. No, um, but reincarnation also can give you answers about like your home environment, the kind of job you do. So if we think that we come here with a journey, and then we can start thinking why I have this journey, where this came from, why I'm so connected to people, why
mhm,
I'm have this connection with cars, right?
yeah,
People, I know kids, I know for sure that they know how to name every car they see it. They know it. And I don't know my own car brand, but they know. And I in my mind, like, what planet you came from? Because like I really don't have that skill. We definitely
mhm,
came from
mhm,
different places,
yeah,
but and he didn't learn that in this life. I like they're like 6 years old, they're kindergarten, five,
right,
6 years old, and they know. They tell me about um they don't use the word spirits, but they use like the word power, no, or they say, oh, they name sometimes like this figure, no,
oh yeah,
they,
wow,
yeah,
yeah,
they really, if you pay attention what they're saying, they are telling you things about the spiritual world, no, and then things that they see, they know, and then I recognize because I have the experience and I learn it now, and then I'm so glad because I don't think they're crazy. And I said, all
yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah,
it makes
yeah,
sense, right?
yeah,
It's so it it's almost like when you think about your journey with your family, for example, which is sometimes for us is the hardest one, right?
mhm, mhm,
Because we see them, we had to live with them for many years, and then when we have our own family and you have your kids and say like you are totally different than me, right? So well, when we think about reincarnation, it gives us the idea, and then the situation where you have, or you are here to teach somebody, right? Or you are here to really learn from somebody.
mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
Yeah.
And from your family, you can start to think about it, like why this family, how close we are, how different we are. Now, we see cases. I like when I read books that was written by spirits from Brazil.
Mhm.
I see stories that um, mothers, they lost their children, their kids, and then the kids came through messages and then told them what was happening, what are their mission here. No,
Mhm.
and then, for example, I really remember the two kids that there was a car accident and then the car caught on fire,
Um,
and then they died. So
mhm.
mom was like
Right.
desperate. She was in a deep depression and she felt guilty because she survived.
Yeah.
No, and the kids did not. But then they came back and they told mom that that was their journey. They had to go through it because, in the past, they did similar things to others.
Hmm. Hmm. I know.
So
I've been
they have
working.
to
Yeah.
experience to
Yeah.
learn and not to do it again. No. So, but just to finalize this thought, Lyndon, I'm
Hmm.
sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
It, that, and then like they told mom that they didn't feel any pain. They didn't feel the
Yeah.
burning.
Right.
They just like it's like they were asleep and then they woke up now in the spiritual world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that explanation gave mom peace and she could continue on with her life, because
Mhm.
she also had to go through the loss to learn something.
That's hard. It really. Yeah. I know. A lot of things are hard, but that we have to learn. I know. I work with every once in a while with the Akashic records, and it tells you, a lot of times what you have done in previous lives and what you've come here to learn
Mm-hmm.
and how you are doing with that learning. And a lot of times it isn't that great,
Yeah,
because we resist,
we do.
but what we resist persists.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like we have to stop resisting and just allow things to happen because they're going to, whether we like it or not.
Yes. Um, and then no, if we persist in resistance, now in resisting it, we're gonna come back.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be done.
Yeah.
And then as we have studied and we are hearing messages from everywhere, from different religions, that the planet energy is changing.
Mm.
So if you don't really do your homework here while you're allowed to come to this
Mhm.
planet, maybe one time the time is gonna come that you're not allowed to come in here anymore, and you have to
Right.
go to other planet,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
your energy now it's
Mhm.
vibrating that energy that you have, right?
Well, I think everybody knows right now that the energy of the planet is changing. It's just completely. It's like it's off its kilter. It's
Yeah,
off. It's off center in some way. It's just.
yeah,
It's not. Yeah, it is definitely changing.
yeah. And I learned like not very long ago, because I listened to a podcast, Brazilian podcast, but it's
Yeah, of
spiritualist.
course.
And then they were saying like they went back in history of the books that was revealed to us, right? And then they had messages saying about this transitional of the planet, like way before, like
Hmm.
way before 1900s, 1800s, like, so
Yeah.
it's not new. So the transition already started like a while ago, but we are feeling more now because it's more evident to us. Islam is affecting people in general, like this pandemic that we are having. Yeah. And which is it is a sad thing that's happening now. And then I really feel sorry for a lot of families that they were affected really hard because of this situation with the coronavirus. But I also see people that they changed their minds for the best because they had this shock and they had the time to think through it, and then they were able to really make decisions that's going to be better for that family, that individual. No, maybe change your job that's going to make you happier, like getting to know yourself better because you are inside your home. No, people that had to go through therapy because of this, and then is discovering themselves. And then can you imagine how beautiful and better the world's gonna be like after this? Because
We got
people
ways to
are
go
really
yet.
changed. Like I I really feel like people are making good choices. No, the majority of the people are making good choices, and we're gonna have a huge amount of people vibrating for the good. That's what I want to try to say.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, I think there definitely there's, and it's, you can feel it really. You can feel the change in people a lot of times. And there's still people that are still stuck. They don't want to change, but it's either they're going to have to change or get left behind.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not most of us, we learn through the pain. Until the pain doesn't reach you, you don't learn.
Yeah.
So we see tragedies happening every day, everywhere. And then you can even question like what God is allowing this to happen, right? But it's not really God.
It's
It
not God.
is that
He gave us free
person,
will.
yeah, is that person, that individual who is causing all this disturbance, and then is affecting communities, cities, the whole religion.
Yep.
Because how can you imagine that there are a force? Because God is not human. Like it's
Right.
a wrong belief that if you think he has this body, no,
Right.
he's not like this body. Otherwise, he would be God just for Earth because
Yep.
we are the
Yeah.
only planet that has
Right.
this shape.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So this is what I like about spiritism, because before I didn't have this kind of thought and like question things like why maybe we don't know like physically how other souls and energies they are in different planets,
Right.
but we know they live different than us because otherwise we have seen them, right? We no we now we have that robot in Mars, and then they see just stones and
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, I love it. It's fascinating, but there's no human there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like science is really now catching up with these thoughts, these questions that we started to learn way while ago. And just question now, like if we don't know the existence of other human beings in other planets, it's because there isn't. Otherwise, we would be communicating with each
Yeah,
other
that's
because
right.
no, there are souls and there are lives. It's just different. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to think it now and follow this kind of like rationale. No.
Mm-hmm. I know. And the people that say that we're the only ones in the whole universe, that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Because we
So
know they're out there. They are out there.
yeah, but even like when you think again, you think about this force who created Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who created us and allowed us to be here with this body and share this planet with nature, which it has like dogs, cats, lions, elephants, giraffes. They're all different.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to go to another planet to see different lives. So we're already
Right.
seeing here. But what makes you think that this force created only Earth?
Yeah, I know.
That he's the father only of us? Now, like God is the God of the whole universe. He created other creatures too. He created other suns, other galaxies. No, he's not just for us. No, And that's a selfish thought. When you have that kind of thought, you have to question yourself. No, am I being a selfish person? No, is my ego getting into my belief? And so then when you start to question yourself, question the things that you were taught, and you start to see things differently, and you start to learn things that makes more sense.
Now, was your whole family into Spiritism, or
No.
no? No.
No. I have two brothers that they are affiliated, but not. They
Okay.
like it. No, they
Yeah.
kind of, but they never talk about it. No.
Okay.
And my mom understands. She believes, but she never studied like I do. Like, I think I am the only one really in my whole entire family and relatives that really wanted to learn more about it.
Okay. But I know when she came to church that time, when she was here, your mom was perfectly comfortable in our church.
Yeah.
You know, it was just because it was just what she knew. So yeah, because a lot of people are even in spiritualism are that way. They're kind of on the edge. Yeah, I know what you believe, and yeah, I believe that too. But I'm not going to go any further with it. You know, and there's so much more to learn.
It is. There is.
It's a constant learning. You know,
There is.
and
Like,
people think they want to come to and learn mediumship, how to be a medium, and you know, in one or two classes. I think good luck with that.
no.
You know, that's
Lynn, I always say, like, you correct me if I'm saying things that it's wrong, but from what I learned now is that we all have the ability to develop mediumship. Now, we are born with this because we came from the same source, right? But not everyone develops it. And maybe this is not the time for you, this is not the life for you to develop your mediumship, because your journey is a different one, right? So I'm saying that because I'm guilty of this, because when I was younger and I used to go to the spirit center, and I saw the mediums that they have a good, like a well-developed mediumship. They will connect to spirits really easy. They will talk to and see them. And I said, I wanted this. Like, I really wanted it like that. And I made all of the effort. I took all the classes. I would give people a ride because I'm like, come back because I want to learn. And it didn't work. And then I had to really tell myself, oh, look, maybe you're not supposed to do this way. And then it took me a few years, and I learned through the classes and through the people they are more experienced than me, and that maybe my mediumship is not that. And my expectation was very high, and then I could never achieve that because that's not for me. Maybe I have a different journey. Maybe that's going to happen soon, and I don't know. We don't know. But I cannot just want it.
Right.
No, I can have the desire to continue to learn more, and see what happens. And just be open to. But I can't force and say, I'm going to be this kind of medium. Like, you're not.
Right. And I think too, it depends on the classes that are offered, because some classes that I've been in, that's not the way I learn. What the way they were teaching isn't the way I learn. So I didn't learn anything.
Oh.
It sounds ridiculous, but I went to class for 15 years and didn't learn a thing.
Wow.
I came out of it not being a medium. I had fun. I enjoyed the class. I enjoyed the people, but I didn't get anything out of it. So it wasn't until I got out of the class and started tweaking things on my own that it started to gradually come. And that's why when I teach my way. And, maybe it doesn't work with some people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we all learn differently.
Yes. And there are two things that, like, I we practicing spiritism, like we know that what was given to us, we give it back.
Mhm.
No, we don't charge others for the service that was given to us.
Mhm.
No, and I think we don't do that for good things, because we want to do charity, because we want to know, we want to help others, and the people that really need it, they don't have the money.
Right.
Right? This is one reason. So you want to be really thoughtful about those people that they need the message, that they need the understanding, the comfort that spiritualism and spiritualism give to us, but they can't pay for it.
Mhm.
So, and the other thing that's more rational to me, and that I learned that, is that what it is I got now. So, because I remember we have this expression, like the telephone always ring from there. We don't call and say, hey, what is the message?
Right.
They give to us the message.
Mhm.
So it's very dangerous to have a business where you can promise people a message, right? Like, I don't feel comfortable doing that, because if it's not coming and the person is gonna pay me and I feel like I need this money, and I'm just gonna give it whatever I feel it is a message, so it's dangerous. It's a fine line.
Mhm.
So I know here we have a different understanding now in culture, but there, how I learn and how we practice in Brazil, we don't take a chance. No, we really give a message when it is given to us.
Mhm.
And then to take advantage and then charge someone for that message, it's not fair. It's not right, because it's an exchange. No, we are just an instrument. We are just the medium, right? So that comes through. It's not for you. It's for that person. So you should not have anything from that. So that's the two reasons that really stuck with me, about mediumship. And something else that I want to share is that you don't have to be a spiritualist or a spiritist to be a medium.
No.
I see fathers, like priests.
Mhm.
I see even like a Buddha.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you are Jesus, what a
Yep.
beautiful, very well developed medium. And so I see people, they are teachers, and I
Yep.
know them, and I said, and they don't even know about
Right.
mediumship.
Mhm.
They have no understanding yet. But they use different words. Like when we have a priest in Brazil that he's very connected to the spiritual world, but he's just used different words. Like his vocabulary is
Mhm.
different,
Mhm.
and his message really touch young people. And it is beautiful, because how many souls he's making a difference in their lives and giving like a positive and a positive message, like hope, and then they can just continue on, right? And then, in other words, these actions can be called salvation,
Right. Yes. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
but it's
Right.
their vocabulary. So we are limited because we have this language. But when you transform this into energy, it's just one energy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
And we're all energy.
if we spoke the energy language, we will have all the same energy. We won't have no different
Mhm.
energies to
Mhm.
explain one thing.
Mhm.
So we really have to be open to the vocabulary that person is using to understand
Mhm. Mhm.
mediumship, to really understand the concept of what they're trying to say.
This has been interesting. I could sit and talk like this all day.
Me too. We didn't even talk about the books, Lynn.
No,
We have 5 books to talk
I know.
about.
I know. Well, you know what? We can schedule another one, and you can do you can do one book at a time. Talk about one book at a time. We'll schedule 5 more appointments.
Oh, that'll be good. I can touch base on the books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
but
has been great.
yeah, You know, I want to tell you something that you're gonna like it.
Okay.
As you know, I do a prayer time with my Brazilian group once a week, and I translated our healing prayer to Portuguese.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I had opportunity to say like a couple of times the healing prayer, and they liked it.
And for those of listening that don't know the healing prayer, would you like to say it in English and then in Portuguese?
Oh, well, I need to get the book because I don't know by heart. Oh, I have it right here. If
You
you
just
give me,
happen to have it right with you.
yeah, hold on, I'll go get it.
Okay.
So I thought about translating and using when it's I have a chance, because there is, it's all connected. It's the same thing that we do, and just different language now, and a different way to say now, and it work with the energy. So we have our, isn't our spiritualism
Manual. Yeah.
manual, and it's called the Prayer for Spiritual Healing. So it starts like, I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my body, my mind and body, and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Thank you.
And that's exactly what we do when we are praying, like we are
Yeah.
sending healing to people,
Mhm.
right? So, and we ask our force. So now in Portuguese.
For those of you who understand Portuguese.
Yes. But I had to say, so this is my way to translate. So maybe a specialist will say different. But I think you did a good job.
Okay.
So it starts like this. Eu peço a grande e invisível força da cura para remover todas as obstruções do meu corpo e mente e restaure-me com saúde perfeita. Eu peço com toda sinceridade e honestidade, e eu farei minha parte. Eu peço a grande e invisível força da cura para ajudar aqueles que estão presentes e ausentes e aqueles que estão em necessidade de ajuda, e restaura eles com saúde perfeita. Eu coloco minha confiança no amor e no poder de Deus.
Okay. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yes.
My favorite phrase in the whole thing is, and I will do my part.
Yes. And then again, like in spiritualism, they teach you to take responsibility.
Yes.
And that's what it is. Like you
Yes.
do your part.
Mhm.
Now, you're not going to be healthy if you don't take actions.
Right. You
No.
can't just sit and wait for it to happen.
These spirits are going to say, all right, I'm not going to work with you.
Yep.
You're not doing it. No,
Mhm.
what it's needed. So they're here, they go visit people that they need, but you have to be allowed that thing, that energy to come into you.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful, Eugenia. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I love talking about this. So
I do too. I do too. We'll schedule another one along the way and you can talk about the books.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you everyone for being with us, and please join us again next week.
Yeah.
We'll have someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Jean Mandeville will be on next week. So
wow, great. Well, I say thank you too, for you, Lynn, doing this. This is a very good way to spread the message. Many people are going to be learning from this.
I hope so.
Yes.
But I'm having fun, so it's just kind of,
Yeah, and I also thank my friends from Brazil because they're watching us.
Good. Good.
So-
Welcome them all. I welcome them. How do you say welcome in Portuguese?
Bem-vindo.
What she just said, right?
So I'll tell them in Portuguese what you said.
Okay, thank you.
Para os brasileiros, a Aline está dizendo que vocês são bem-vindos nesse canal e que ela está muito feliz de vocês estarem assistindo. E eu também. Então, obrigado, beijo.
Thanks, Eugenia. See you later.
You're welcome, Lynn. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.